Who is the next president of the Republic of Kenya after 2027? Currently, William Ruto is at the helm, but campaigns are already heightened. The opposition has insisted that William Ruto is unfit to be our driver. They say William Ruto must go. He's a one-term president. But William Ruto himself says that he's got a plan for this nation and that the opposition is only busy telling us that he's a one-term president, but they don't want to give us their alternative plans. Begging the question, who will be our next president after 2027? That is a very direct question, but many of you will not answer that question with a direct answer. Some will say that 2027 is still very far. Let us give William Ruto time to implement his agenda. But others will also tell you that we do not know who the next president will be, but we know who will not make it. But perhaps the most common answer that I will get is, it depends. Many people will say that the next election will depend on two things. One, we all understand and agree that the next election will be highly determined. The winner of that election will be highly determined by the youths, especially Gen Zs, only if they vote wisely. If they refuse to be divided along their tribal cocoons and along political lines, and more so if they shun bribery, they will determine the next president of our nation. And that is why you've realized there is clamor for the youths. The opposition is trying to invite the youths to vote for them. William Ruto is also doing everything he can to ensure that he endears himself to the youth. So the first question is the youths. Number two, many will agree with me that the winner of the next election will depend on the opposition. Will they stand united up to 2027? Even William Ruto himself understands that the only threat to his re-election is a united opposition. If the opposition is going to be divided, then I can assure you that will be a sure bet to William Ruto's second term. And that is why most of us will say we do not know the next president because it depends on a number of things. And many agree that this opposition is poised to win the next election, except if they make silly blunders. Having taken cognizance of the fact that this opposition must remain united for it to win the next election, do you think William Ruto does not know this? In fact, William Ruto is the consumer of raw intelligence in the country. He is updated on what is happening in the country from morning up to the very night when he's retiring to bed. Begging the question, do you think William Ruto will allow this opposition to go to the next election as a united team? The answer is a big no. William Ruto is going to try and divide the opposition ahead of 2027. And in this video, I want us to look at some indicators that the government is already trying to interfere with this opposition ahead of 2027. And the department of the team that has been tasked by this very role is the NIS. The NIS is Ruto's eye because they have intelligence and they also advise William Ruto on how to tackle this opposition. We have a very strong opposition. Rigathi Gachagua, Eugene Wamalwa, Fred Matiang'i, Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, Natembeya is there, we have JB Muturi, we name them. And if they are united, they will win. But there are indicators that really show that the NIS is already making inroads and they have already infiltrated. And I want us to look at some of this. Please allow me to request you to subscribe to our channel if you're watching us for the first time and click the notification bell. This allows YouTube to notify you whenever we release a video like this, and also like and share videos. Ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, let us begin by looking at the kind of confusion that we've seen, and many Kenyans are now saying that indeed the NIS is already in. Recently, Gathoni Mushomba, a lady who has been described as an iron lady, made a certain move that really left the opposition confused. We all know that Gathoni Mushomba has been protecting Rigathi Gachagua. You know that when Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, Gathoni Mushomba cried in public, and she really warned William Ruto against impeaching Rigathi Gachagua while in hospital. In fact, this is Gathoni Mushomba assuring Rigathi Gachagua of her support.
Lakini maneno ya kwenda kutangaza huko nje, kuita mtoto wetu majina, kiongozi yoyote ambaye anafanya hivyo, turakuonea 18 mayangai. Kule ambayo Senator Cheruiyot ametoka na Madago ametoka, kuna viongozi wengine walikuwa huko kama Uhuru Kenyatta. Kuna Gideon Moi, kuna yule Ruto wa maendeleo ile mashinani, Mheshimiwa Ruto. Ushawahi sikia siku moja Cheruiyot amesimama kwa gari akatukana Gideon Moi? Acha tuongee ukweli. Na ni nini sisi hapa? Kazi yetu ni kutukanana hapa. Kama mtu wako na shida na Rigathi wa Gachagua, enda Harambee House. Enda umutembelee kana mweterere haria mathira, umwire thina waku ni uyu no uyu. Niguo ona wetu kivireja, we kivireja gitu. We will support you. We will pray for you. We will come for advice. We will fight your battles because you are our son.
Now, you cannot imagine that this is Gathoni Mushomba after a viral video when Gathoni Mushomba attended the burial or a funeral of majority leader Kimani Ichung'wah's father. And they were there. Kimani Ichung'wah showered Gathoni Mushomba with praises and said things to the effect that they were working together. After that video, Gathoni has been called a traitor, a mole. She's trying to disentangle herself from those very claims, and she's saying that she's deeply rooted in the opposition. But the other question people are asking, after President Rigathi Gachagua, after crying when Rigathi Gachagua was being impeached, why could she stick to the very united opposition? Why did she go and start this thing they call Kenya Moja or something? And people are looking at it as another branch of the government to be used to create confusion. Because the Mount Kenya mood is that Rigathi Gachagua is the ultimate kingpin. So when you come up with another branch of an opposition, then it only means that you're not with Rigathi Gachagua. And so many are looking at Gathoni Mushomba as an agent of confusion. Why would Gathoni Mushomba create confusion? That can only happen if the NIS and the government is using her. And many political pundits are saying that we really need to keep an eye on this Kenya Moja team. And we are going to see more of this confusion. Because if Gathoni wanted to be part of the opposition, she would simply join Rigathi Gachagua and they work together. Because as it is we do not understand where Gathoni Mushomba stands. Number two, the NIS is keen on ensuring that there is rivalry within the core principles in the united opposition. Recently, in fact that was yesterday but one, Fred Okengo Matiang'i, a man who is being seen as one of the most probable presidential candidates in 2027, met with the Jubilee party leaders, and they had all these photos together. And many people have interpreted this move that Uhuru Kenyatta is about to hand over the Jubilee party to Fred Okengo Matiang'i. But if the Jubilee party is going to be handed over to Fred Okengo Matiang'i, there is going to be a renewed rivalry between Fred Okengo Matiang'i and Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi has made it very clear that Fred should pick a party from his backyard, convince his people, get an endorsement from his Abagusi and Omogusi community as they sit on a round table and allow Rigathi Gachagua to consolidate Mount Kenya votes. Now, the DCP and the Jubilee Party are rivals within Mount Kenya. Rigathi would wish that come 2027, all the political seats from the MCA, the MPs and senators and the governors should belong to the DCP party. But when the Jubilee party hands over to Fred Okengo Matiang'i, then Fred is going to be forced to campaign for his presidential seat as well as the other seats. So he will be looking to rival those seats against the DCP. And this is going to be a big rivalry between Rigathi Gachagua and Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Now look, this is what is going to happen. Fred Okengo will have part of the team on his side and Rigathi will have part of the team on his side. Kuna wale watasema hapana, Rigathi aache tu watu wamenyane kwa kiwanja, aache kuchukua Mount Kenya ni kama ni yake. Na wengine wataona Matiang'i ni kana kwamba achane na Rigathi Gachagua because huko ni bedroom ya Rigathi Gachagua. And when there is that rivalry, there's going to be a bigger confusion and self-interests are going to start emerging. And that is how that opposition is going to crumble. And if they fall to that trap, then William Ruto will easily annihilate that opposition. So ahead of 2027, they must be very wary of the confusion and the rivalry that is being created. Number 3, there is going to be some hard stand. As we speak, some people are saying that Kalonzo Musyoka cannot agree to support any other candidate, having supported Raila for 15 years. The last one was even humiliating, that they had to subject Kalonzo Musyoka to some shenanigans. It was a kind of interview. Kalonzo had supported Raila for 2 terms, 2013 and 2017. Then come 2022, they had to create something that they are interviewing Kalonzo. You know, that was so wrong. So Kalonzo, many view him as a man who is poised to contest, and it's nothing less than the presidency. Others also believe that Fred Matiang'i is being sharpened by Uhuru Kenyatta and is going for nothing less than the presidency. Others also say that Rigathi feels that there is no any other stronger candidate among them and is going to insist that he goes for it. Among many of them, if this is going to be the scenario, if they all refuse to step down for one another, then I can assure you that opposition is going to be divided. Others will come back to William Ruto. Others in anger will go and contest alone. And as I said earlier, that will be the surest bet to William Samoei Ruto. And so, ladies and gentlemen, those indicators really show people are really suspicious about them, that William Ruto does not want a united opposition, and he's already infiltrating that opposition using very key individuals. And I don't know what you think, but this opposition must be very, very careful. Who is the next president of this country after 2027? It all depends, and we can only wait and see the outcome. That's my take.